Alrighty, welcome back. I'm your man, Bad Chad, and Jolene's got me all dressed up in black. JJ Dynamite, black is beautiful. Anyways, we got yesterday when I did the drip rail moldings, I did the other side, then I come back and looked at this side. This side did not look right whatsoever. The drip rail was up too high. And basically what happened, let's go around to the other side. Basically what happened was I had to cut the drip rail round rod. I cut that back off, and I took a punch and I took a hammer and I stuck it inside the drip rail, and I just beat it down like that because there's a little piece of metal in there that where it's spot welded, so I just beat it down and got it in place. When I was looking at this side, it looked really nice. Then I went to the other side and it wasn't looking so good. So what I did was I went back to the other side and I cut it off. I took my zip cut, I went up in here and I cut my round rod off, pulled it off, took my chisel, put it in there, got that drip rail fitting that door better, so we're looking a lot better now. For those who picked up on it, good eye. You know, basically that tells me that you would know whether something's looking good or not. Basically, and it took me a little bit. I was concentrating on the drip rail, or probably the round rod, so bad that I wasn't thinking about the door gap. So when I took a minute and come back out and looked at it, I just didn't like it, so I fixed it. Now I'm happy with it. Now I can move on. Jolene's got interior written down there now. So now instead of going to the interior, I have to do the windows before I can do the interior, and I have to do the garnish moldings. I can put the garnish moldings on after, I guess, to get the interior in. But the windows have to be done, the vent window and the garnish molding. So I'm just going to go with the garnish moldings because it's after the interior. This is the garnish molding. And I'm going to have to chop it down because we chopped the roof on the car, and I have to chop the garnish molding down exactly the same as we chopped the roof down. But basically what I'm going to do is I'm just going to open the door. This is what I'm going to show you today. I'm going to cut the garnish molding down, and it's a part of a chop job. There's no chop job going on without the garnish moldings being cut, or you're not finishing it, if you know what I'm trying to tell you. So basically I'm just going to stick it in there, and we've got way too much height obviously because we've chopped it. And I'm just going to cut it off where we cut it off before. So we got a weld mark right there. We got a weld mark up here. We know, or we should know, that it's probably going to fit from the cut mark to the cut mark because we did not change anything down there. What we changed is the height and the shape in here. So we're just going to cut this off and we'll go for it. So I'm going to cut the top of the garnish molding off. So if you think that your chop jobs just matter cutting the roof off, well, there's a lot more to it than that, and there's a lot more to it than that. I guess that maybe that's why a chop car should get a little more respect than just a customized car, and the reason being is if you got a chop car that is finished, there's quite a bit of work involved in finishing that, so let's give it respect. I'm going to cut that side. I'm going to cut this side. And I was also looking at this garnish molding. It already has been, you can see where it was put together right there. You can see that. They did the exact same thing. I'm going to cut it off there. Now, I'm going to clean some edges up on this. Let's clean some edges up on this. The reason I'm going to clean the edges up on it because I'm going to cut pieces off this to fit this. I'm going to screw this into the door, and then we'll start tacking some pieces on it. Actually, noisy, but let's go with it. Just taking a little bit of paint off so I can weld it. Alrighty, I got some screws here to screw it in back into the door, and I'm saying that this should fit because it fit before. We didn't change anything down below, so we'll put this bad boy on, which it should fit. We've even got the original screw holes to go in by because we didn't change anything. Let's see what's going on here. Got a couple screw holes here to hold this bad boy on. And where are they? Gonna come to the other side. There's my hole right there. Sometimes these are hard to get on because you can't see the screw hole, I know. This is just going to hold it in place so I can weld the other pieces to it as I cut it. I'm not going to do any measuring on this. I'm just going to cut it and make it fit. I should have maybe ground that off there maybe, but we're okay. Got a little bit of weld sticking on right there. No, we're all right, I guess. No, I'm going to take it off. Just get a better read. Just going to knock that off. Take this off again. I think it'd be better to take it off. Just knock that little bit of weld. I've got some weld off up here too. It might just hold it out so I can't get it done right. That's all. Just going to take that off for a second. I'm going to get a flapper wheel. I got a flapper wheel right here. I got a little bit of weld where the door was welded together. I don't want it to hold the garnish molding in. Do it again. Jolene looks amazing today, as always. As always, don't you, baby? Jolene looks amazing today. Try to get that screw from this side. Putting the screws in the garnish mold just give me a truer read. For when I'm welding it together, then I'll know it will fit. I'm going to tie it a bit tighter. Just tight. I got so much grinding going on around here. That's what happens to every screwdriver. Every tool I have, like there's so much metal work going on that it's just, wow, it's everywhere. Alrighty. The garnish molding will go over top of the interior. So I want to get this done before we put the interior in, so I can just put the garnish molding on. Alrighty, I have that cut. Now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to come up here and get that angle. This is the angle that I want. So I'm just going to get that there. And I'm going to chop it where I see fit. I'm going to get my marker. Basically, I'm just going to eye it up and mark it and cut it. Looks good to me. Oh. Going to have to cut it again. Cut it again. And I'm going to cut it again where. So I'm going to have to, this is not long enough now, so I'm going to cut it in half. I'm going to have to add some to it. The piece that I cut off, or the piece I cut off here, is going to have to be added in the center. Whatever piece that, we'll go here, why not? Or, guess it doesn't matter where I go. That fits that door pretty good. We'll go here. Just because the door was cut there. And that's the only reason because I went there is because the door was cut there. Cut that off. I'm going to turn the welder on. I'm going to tack this piece on. Actually, I'm just going to leave it for a second. Let's make this piece fit. Looks good. Let's just hold it up again. Go too fast. So we have 2 doors and a window to do. 2 doors and a window. Doing a 4-door, you'd have 4 garnish moldings. These are the pieces I have left. I'm going to need those pieces, obviously, or one of them. Just touching it very lightly. So, like yesterday, if you have something on your ride that you have done and you do not like it, cut it off and fix it. Cut it off and fix it. I did. I cut it off and fixed it. Because I did not like it. Not bad. Not bad. Let's try the other piece on for a second. Let's see where that one's going. Smoking. Alrighty, let's get the welder going, and we'll get some pieces put on that bad boy. Get a garnish molding made. The window, I'll get to the window after I finish this, I guess. I'm just gonna stick that underneath there. Hope it stays on. Jolene got me a new black hat, got me new black pants, new black shirt. Now it's time for me to get black. Basically, eh, baby? Huh? Every day. Every day. Alrighty. This stuff is very thin. Well, I shouldn't say that. Probably looking at 20 gauge, probably. Let's tack this bad boy on there. And we can basically tack it on there. Trying to line it up the best we can. 1 tack, I can move it, and 2, she's in place. Awesome. Alrighty, let's get the back one. There is some welding that still has to be done, and I will get to it. I'll get to it. Put that piece on. Morning, Harold. Afternoon, is it? One, it's held. And 2, it'll be in place. Now I need a little piece up there in the center. Did you watch last night's show? I fixed it. It looked bad up there, didn't it? I had to fix it, Harold. I had to cut it off and fix it. But that's what you do when something goes wrong, you cut it off and fix it. I got a piece in there. I'm just going to take a piece, whatever piece I think. I like this piece better. I think I like this piece better just because if this has where it went together before and it has this piece in it, I don't think I need that. I got a screw hole there and a screw hole there that should hold it in there. I got to clean this off before I do that. Sorry. So I got this one. It goes on the top. So just hold that in there. Cut it. Black marker on black paint is not the best. Let's see if this fits. Oh, wrong way. Man, these are going good this morning. Just gonna leave that there like that, grab the welder. I'm gonna put one in place and tack it, and then I'll go the other side and tack it. That in place. I'm going to push up on that. This one here is nice. I'm going to tack this one on because it looks good. I'm going to push up on that one. Got a screwdriver. It might. I didn't do it. There. So basically, we have a garnish molding that's in there. It's not complete, but we'll complete it. Just take a second to tack a few more welds on it. This thin metal, I do a lot of bumping, but the welder I'm just pulling the trigger and bumping the weld on and then dealing with it after because of the metals being so thin. I don't want to burn through. I'm thinking we can take it off now. I've got it all tacked together. hopefully we can get it off. Full time. Wonder why I got to go to bed at night and get baby to get the pluckers out and take steel out of my feet. I got so much metal on the... Crazy. Take this side out. Was you golfing this morning, Harold? You wasn't waving from the golf course? We had someone waving from the golf course when we went by. All right. Come on out, baby. Come on out. There we go. Now we talking. All right, I'm just going to put this on this bad boy here. Put a screwdriver there. I'm going to use the wheel to clean a spot off so I can weld it. What's that? Okay, see you, Harold. We'll see you in a bit. That is just for a ground, just so I can get the welder going and weld it up. We'll get it welded up. Good. Alrighty, turn the welder on. Need a ground. So, how fast I can get this done, the faster I'll have the garnish moldings done. So I'm going to bump this all the way around. And the reason being is because of the thin metal. And what I mean by bump is just hit the welder and let off. Bump, bump. More or less I call it a bump, I guess. But you'll see. Ah. I'm going to do that there, and then I'll flop it over. Just sticking it together, back together very lightly. Stop it, stop it. Get back here. Ouch, burnt myself. It's the wrong hobby if you're not wanting to get burnt. Ouch, burnt again. I must love it, getting burnt. I must love it. Put some gloves on, I suppose. Flop her over on the other side. Alrighty, now a little precision flapper wheeling, a little precision grinder work with the flapper wheel, and we should have something that can go back on the car. I'm also going to do the window garnish molding, so you stick with us. Thanks for coming back. We very much appreciate it. We very much appreciate it. All right, let's do it. There is smaller tools, obviously, to do this kind of work, you know, to sand something like that, or even to grind the welds are smaller tools. I'm just kind of caught up in the bigger tools. They seem to go a little bit faster, and anything that slows me down, I kind of steer away from, you know, basically. Alrighty. Not bad. So there we have our garnish molding, and now we're just going to stick it back on and see what it looks like. I've got 2 screws. On the screws up here, there's casing on the inside of the door where metal's been overlapped on top of metal. You get what I'm trying to get at? There's metal lapped over top of metal. Awesome. So we have, let's put the screw in here. See if we can't get this one in. Come on through now. Come on, man. What's going on here? There we go. Now we're talking. Can't see the hole. Gotta go to the other side. Come on. Can't see the hole. I guess that's, don't seem like it's it. My molding's not in, baby. My molding's not in. It'll go in when I get the screw in it. Sometimes these can be buggers. Basically, they make the moldings, and I would say they run a drill through after, and it goes where it goes. And that's what you got going on here. I'm going to do the exact same thing, probably. So, here's our garnish molding. I'll have to tighten it up a bit. I don't know why this is going so tight here, but wish it would go a little nicer, but there we go. There we go. So basically there's our garnish molding that's on. I haven't got it real tight or anything, but it goes up around the door, and I can play with it a little bit. We're going to put a couple screws up in here, which will pull this in and pull that in. But basically there's a garnish molding for the door. We'd have to put a little filler on that or whatever. We'll probably just end up leaving it, probably strip them down, put them in bare metal. But there's the garnish molding for that side. Drip rail looks much better, much happier with it. We have the garnish molding for the front window. Got to do the exact same thing with the garnish molding on the other side, which I think is going to be basically the same thing. I'm saying that this is where the heater was. That's where the heater's coming, so I'm saying that's the bottom. When we chopped this car, like I said, we did not do any measuring on the post. We just used tape. We had some 2-inch tape, and we had some 3/4-inch tape. I think we used 2 pieces of tape, and or 2 pieces of 2-inch tape, and we used 1 piece of 3/4-inch tape. So basically, I think you know what I'm going to do. I'm not even going to measure that or get in there and play with that. I'm not going to do any of that. I am going to go driver's front. All right, let's go. This is what I'm going to do. Let's go to the driver's front. We'll come on this side. You can see where it's not welded and where it's been cut. It still has to be welded there. Yes, it does. I cannot forget that. I have to weld that up to make, to finish it. I have to weld it up, which is not a problem. But you can see I'm going to go over on the other side and show what I mean. This is what I'm going to do. You can see the distance from that screw hole to that cut. And I'm thinking, we're going to just take a look here for shits and giggles. This is how I'm going to do it. From that screw hole to that cut, we are probably, what, a little better than 1/8 or a little bit better. Remember, we have screws to haul that in tight. There's a rubber it's going up against. Generally, these don't fit the greatest anyways. These garnish moldings up around the front window. But you can see how much distance I got there on the driver's side garnish molding. So we got the driver's side garnish molding. And I'm thinking that that is that hole right there. So I'm going to go that much above or cutting above that. So we're cutting on that line. We got that much above it on that side. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to take this 2-inch. Piece of 2-inch. We had to open the posts up a little bit, but I'm thinking that once we put all these screws in, or if we get them lined up somewhat, it'll pull it around to where it needs to go, is what I'm thinking. So I'm going to cut it there, and I'm going to cut it there. If I did the exact same cut on the roof, it should fit identically. And you know what? I'm not even going to measure it or nothing. I'm just going to cut it. And the reason being is I've got an educated guess on what's going on. That's how we chopped it. We used tape. Now I'm going to use tape to cut the moldings. I'm going to cut and get a spot here. I'm going to weld that back together, and I'm saying that's going to fit the window. So we're going to do we can weld that back together right now. And if it doesn't fit, I only have one person to blame. Take and put a little let's see if we can't get that welded back together. Make it look like something. Don't know if I can or what I will. Just turn the welder back on. I'm just going to eye it up for straightness. That's all I'm going to do for that, in case I have to do something to it. So we're lined up pretty good there. I wonder if I should cut both of them. Now. Oop. Now it looks like to me like that's going to be bent down. Let's see what happens here. Jeez, scared the bejeebies out of me. Now, what can you say about that? Other than, wow, looks good. You know, put some screws in that. That's where, well, it's not exactly where it goes, but let's face it. It's got to go above this hole here, I see. I got it above too far. Right there is where it goes. And yeah, I'm happy with that. That looks good. Because it had to come back for the vent hole there on this side, because the heat's got to come up through the vent hole. That's for the rubber inside there. Awesome. I even got my screw hole here. That'll work for that one. If I have to drill a new one for that one, I will. But I'm thinking that most of these screw holes up here, look, come take a look. We got a screw hole right there. And the screw hole's lined up right there. So just molding's got to come in. There's a screw hole there. There's a screw hole right there. Perfect. Screw hole right there. Right on the money. Alrighty, so you know exactly what I'm going to do to the other garnish molding. I could have complicated that and got a measuring tape out and did a bunch of stuff to it, but I just used the markings that I have. I got one over here, and it looks to me like it's a tape mark. Like, we didn't measure this up the post or anything like that when we cut it. We just went in the straightest place of the post and we marked it, and we went by eye on this side where it looks like it's a tape length from the drilled hole. That's what I'll cut it at, a tape length. So it's cut at basically at the same distance. So the screw holes all line back up in that window garnish molding. You can, like I said, you can complicate it if you want to, but I just showed you how using a simple method, like Jolene showed on the grill, how simple method that was to find the length of the chrome. That's a simple method to know how much you want to chop your car. If you want it 3 pieces of 2-inch, go ahead, put 3 pieces of 2-inch. Then you sort of know what's going on. The garnish moldings on the side, I basically just cut it with the doors where I cut the doors off, and then fit my piece in the center where I fitted it in before. Basically just kind of copycatting what's going on. But that went well. I'm very happy that went well. I thought it would, I guess, but that's what went on. And when we had the chop course, you know, I said, you know, what is, you know, I don't bother getting the tape measure out too much when you're chopping a roof, because I have that there that I go by. And we must realize if we do the same on both sides, it's going to come down the same distance if we use the same amount of pieces of tape. If you want more, you just add more tape. It just kind of makes it, it takes, you know, the measuring thing out of it, which sometimes complicates things. Was that an 1/8, or was that a 1/4, or was that whatever? Grab some tape, measure up your roof on the straightest part where you want to cut it off. Remember it for your garnish moldings. When it comes to the garnish moldings on the inside, just copy what you already have on the outside, because it works. It works. And another thing too, if you do not like something, cut it off and fix it. I had to, I watched myself make that and then come up and look at it. It's like, ugh, that don't look good. So I just cut it off and I fixed it. All right, everybody, thanks very much for coming back. I can basically, I can't scratch it off yet, but I'm gonna put a line underneath of it and just go up over like that as I'm halfway, if you know what I'm trying to say. Once I get the garnish mold, I get the other one cut, get that welded together, get that one welded together on the other side, then I have the garnish moldings. Then I got to go for that vent window. Never done one before, but I'm going to have to do it. I can't see it being a problem. And if it is a problem and I can't get it, I'll fix it. Like, share, comment, come back, and we'll be here. See you tomorrow.